Hey guys, welcome to Lesson 6, Borders and Text. Okay, so let's start off by me finding a tag that doesn't have a border. Okay. We'll start off by doing a simple border. By all means, your tag or your LP or whatever the artwork may be doesn't necessarily need to have a border. Some people like them. Some people like simple. Some people like extravagant. It all depends on your taste. And when I say that, I do mean your taste. Whoever creates this artwork should be pleased with it and should never be discouraged from doing something that they enjoy or that they think looks better or looks good or pleases them because other people say it shouldn't be there. It's just like text. If you think text looks good and it's something you prefer to do, then by all means, use it. If you want to use a border, if you want to use a humongous border, a tech border, go for it. First off, you're going to make a new layer above all the rest. And a quick way to select all of your canvas is by holding down Control and hitting A, and you see the dancing lines come up. We're going to do a simple black border, so make sure black is over white. Go up to Edit, go down to Stroke, see Width 1 pixel, color is black, inside or center or outside. It doesn't matter which one of these you use. I usually use inside or center. You can use outside too, just depends on which you think looks better. Blending mode normal, opacity 100%, and make sure that this box is unchecked. Hit OK. Hit Control D to get rid of the dancing lines, and there's your border. Okay, so let's get a little more technical. Make a new layer. This time we're going to add, you can either add a white border or a colored border. Let's pull some color with this little eyedropper tool out of our tag, and I'm going to pull some of this yellow out. There we go. Okay, so again, Control A to select all of your canvas. Go up here to Edit, Stroke, and this time I'm going to make let's do anywhere between a 3 to 5 pixel border. I'm gonna do the max. I'm gonna do a 5 pixel border. Of course, the color is yellow, inside, normal, 100%, unchecked. Okay, so Control D to get rid of the lines. I'm gonna go a little step above that. I'm gonna switch these colors back to black and white. Make another layer. Control A. Go up to Edit, Stroke, and go back to 1 pixel. Control D. Now, this is our black one. We can name black 1 pixel. And this is our yellow one. Yellow. Double click on your yellow, and this box will pop up. Drop shadow and all this. We want to go to Stroke. We want to change these settings to 1 pixel. Position is always set to outside, and I guess it doesn't really matter. you can kind of see what it does when you change it. We'll leave it set to outside, normal blend mode, 100% opacity. The color we will change to black. And hit OK. And what that did was, if you look, and I turn it off, there was a black line that went around the inside of this yellow border. And now it's not there. Put it back on, and there it's there. What this does is creates a bit of a frame for your border, your main border, which is the yellow one. And then the two black lines kind of create the outside of the frame. You can even go a step further and go back into, double click on your yellow layer or whatever main color you use, and add some bevel and bows. Inner bevel, smooth. Depth, let's try about 20%. Size, 5 looks good to me. 120 degrees, 30. Let's do 40 and 20. Sometimes I like to add contour, and sometimes I don't. As you can see, there's a little bit of a difference, but not much. But I'm going to add a little bit of contour. I'm set it to 75 and then hit OK. And again, if you want to see what that did, come down here to your bevel and emboss, and you can take it off, put it back on. It just slightly changed it, just a little bit, to kind of make it pop out a little more. You could even make it pop out a little more than that if you wanted to. Bumping things up and down a little bit. And then try again. As you can see, that made it stand out a little bit more. Me personally, I don't do that type of border a lot. It's a little too flashy, but it's not bad. It doesn't hurt the artwork, in my opinion. If anything, it kind of frames the artwork a little more like a picture. Again, it's all just personal preference. I guess if you're showing it off to get critique, it's best to not have a border. But if you're showing it off in, like, you know, a portfolio or whatnot, it might be good to have some kind of better or nicer border to kind of, like, again, to frame your artwork and make it stand out a little better. Moving on, multiple borders. These are fairly easy, and you start off by making a new layer. Now, before you had been seeing me select the whole canvas, which for me, that's just an easier way for me to do this. But you can also select the canvas by getting your magic wand tool and just clicking in an empty layer. But we want to make sure our colors are black over white. You want to take your magic wand tool and you want to click, and then you go up to Edit, Stroke, of course 1 pixel stroke, hit OK. Now, what we're going to do different here is we're going to click again inside here to get rid of those lines, and as you can see there is a black border, but we're going to click again inside here with our magic wand tool. Now this, if you notice, made the lines appear on the inside of that black border now. It's not selecting the whole piece, but just selecting the piece inside the black border. Once that is selected, you're going to go make a new layer, change your colors to white over black, go up to Stroke. You can do 1 pixel. I'm going to redo this and show you something else here in a minute, but we're going to do 1 pixel for now. Again, click inside to get rid of it, and click inside again to make the lines appear, and this time it's on the inside of not only the black stroke, but the white stroke. So you're going to make a new layer, change your colors back to black over white, Edit, Stroke, 1 pixel, OK, click again. Now, as you can see, you have a black border, a white border, and a black border. it looks decent the way it is. It's pretty flashy that way. Some people go down here to the white layer and change this to overlay or soft light. As you can see, there's overlay and there's soft light. It's going to give it a little bit more of a flare. I'm going to go ahead and redo the white layer right quick and show you guys something. We're going to, whoops, I can change the color. We're going to bump up the size a little bit. About 4. That's too much. Someone's calling me. Hang on. Okay, sorry about that. Anyways, I'm going to bump up the size to about 3 pixels. There we go. Now, I've got to redo this layer too. Alright, the reason I want to show you this is this gives you a better view of what happens when you change this white layer to overlay or soft light. There's soft light, there's overlay, and it just gives it a bit of a frame itself too. It's more simple, more elegant, I think, than the solid color frame. Okay, so next I'm going to show you the famous widescreens. You start off with making a new layer, and then you grab your rectangular marquee tool, and you just make, you can make them as wide as you want, or as thin as you want, and I usually go about that width. Take your fill bucket tool and fill it in. Control D to get away the dancing lines. Now you could do that to the bottom too, but what I do is just hit Control J on my keyboard and it makes another layer, duplicate of what I just did. And I grab my move tool and I move this top bar while holding down Shift. And the reason I hold down Shift is to keep it from moving out of proportion or not coming straight down the way it should, so that both lines are identical top and bottom. And you can even zoom in a little bit when you move it to make sure that you get it all the way down to the bottom and that they're the same. And that doesn't look too bad the way it is. I kind of, most of the time, when I make these kinds of borders, so widescreen borders, I like to add a little bit extra, so I usually make another layer, Control A to select the whole canvas, and I go to Edit, Stroke, and 1 pixel border. And it just kind of gives it a little bit on the sides. I don't like how the true widescreen borders just end on each side, and it throws me off, and I don't like the way it looks. It looks weird to me, so I like to add that little 1 pixel border to make it look right to me. And this is just again a personal preference. You could also do these borders to the sides instead of top and bottom. Do it to the left and right. So you add a new layer. Get out your rectangular marquee again, and then just do the sides. And again, you can make them as thick as you want or as skinny as you want, but usually keeping them pretty skinny is the best option. Control D to get rid of the dancing lines. Control J to make another copy. Bring your move tool out, and just hold Shift while you slide it over. And again, with this, you can even add, like I do, another layer to the top. Control A, Edit, Stroke, 1 pixel, hit OK, Control Delete, and it just gives it that little extra something. in Photoshop, when you're doing something, it kind of looks like there's a border there a little bit because of how the box is set up, but there isn't. There isn't. There is not a border there, as you can see from this view. That's what it looks like without, and that's what it looks like with, and there isn't a border there. So it just kind of looks like that in here. But another widescreen that I don't see a lot of people do is rounded. And I know that that's not true, but sometimes the rounded looks really interesting, I guess. You would make a new layer above the rest, and instead of using this rectangular marquee, you're going to use your elliptical marquee. And you're going to start over here and just drag it over. Oh, it's fixed size. I'm sorry. Normal. Make sure you're on normal, and then drag it over. Just like the other one, you just fill it with black. Now, for this, you can't just make a duplicate copy and drag it down to the bottom because it isn't even on all sides. You have to make a copy, Control J, and then take that copy and flip it. So you're going to go to, since it's top to bottom, you're going to go to Edit, Transform, you're going to flip it vertical. Then you can grab your Move tool, hold down Shift, and drag it to the bottom. And again, it just makes it look interesting. There is some curves and whatnot to the image itself, to the artwork that you made inside there, so it just makes it a little more interesting to not have such sharp, straight edges, you know what I mean? And again, you could add a new layer, Control A, stroke 1 pixel to give it that extra thing, or you could even do it to the sides. New layer, bring out your elliptical and start up here and just come down. Fill it. Now for this one, when you Control J to make a copy, you're going to go up to Edit, Transform. You're going to flip it horizontal. Move tool, Shift, drag. And there you have it. Now we're going to get into a couple borders that are a little more intricate. They are more for effects than anything. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to describe them. They're effects borders, I suppose. The first one I'm going to show you is a rounded border. Again, your tag inside there is not all straight lines and stuff. It has curves. And why should the curves stop when it gets to the sharp, straight edges of your canvas? So, you know, we can rectify that by cutting some of your tag out and leaving it room to be able to have that curve. And to do this, first off, you can either do it one of two ways. You can either right now save your PSD and then save your PNG form, or you could just make a new layer, go up here to Edit, go up here to Image, Apply Image, and hit OK, and then just hide all the rest of your layers. Either way is fine. If you do save your PSD and your PNG, and please do save the PSD as well, you always want to save your PSD. But if you save a PSD form and your PNG format, you need to reopen your PNG so that when you open it up, it's only one layer. Okay, so now that we did that, we are going to take, I'm going to use white so you can see it since there's a lot of black in this tag. You're going to take this tool, which is called your rounded rectangle tool, and you're going to set it make sure this box is checked, make sure this shape is checked. The radius, you're going to set it anywhere between 10 to 15, mode normal, opacity 100. You're going to make a new layer, and you're going to start at the edge. Yeah, it doesn't really matter how close to the edge you get and how far away from the edge you get. It's all preference. You can get as close to the edge as you can, or you can get further away. It depends on how much of the tag you really want to cut away, because what you're not selecting, what is not going to be appearing covered with white, is going to be deleted, and you're not going to ever see it again. So it just depends on how much you want to cut away from your tag. Make sure when you drag it, you try to stay as even as you can all the way around. And that's it. You just click and drag, and when you're sure that you're pretty even. And as you can see, most of the tag is whited out. Now what you can see left of the tag, this will eventually be deleted. And how we do this is you hold down Control, well, first off you highlight your main PNG layer or your main applied layer. And then you hold down Control, and while you're holding down Control, you click in this little white box, and this is what you this is your shape. It will make those dancing lines appear. Okay, so now if we hit delete, and I'm just going to show you what happens if we hit delete now, it's going to take out that white area. So when you unhide it, your tag's gone. Okay, so we don't want to do that. We want to take out the area on the outside. How to do that, we go to Select and do Inverse. And then this makes it select the outside area. So now, when we hit delete, we have deleted the outside. Okay, so hit Control D to get rid of the dancing lines, and then hide your white layer, or get rid of it. You don't really need it anymore, so you can technically delete it. And now your tag has got rounded edges. Now you can leave it like that. You don't have to give it another border like a stroke or anything like that. But, you know, some people prefer to do a stroke around the outside. Easy way to do this would just be to go to double click on your applied or PNG layer, go to stroke, drop it to 1 pixel, set the color to black. I like to do, it's default to be outside, but I like to do inside or center. It just makes it better for me. I don't know, it's my personal preference. And hit OK. And as you can see, it's got a little border around it. You can even do some of the other borders that we had discussed earlier in this tutorial. It's all personal preference, but that's how you do that. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit different border. I'm going to take away these effects. Okay, a little bit different border. I'm going to go ahead and cut away a good bit more. Okay, remember to go, make sure you're highlighted on your main layer, and just Control click in that little box, select Inverse, and then delete. Like I said, you can delete this layer now, you're done with it. Hold Control and make a new layer so that it's under your PNG layer or your applied layer. We're going to add color. And a good color, again, we're going to bring some of this yellow out and just fill it. And now I know this is hard-edged, but you can leave it hard-edged. Or you can even go a step further and make a new layer and round that too. You already know how to round it, so again, make sure you're on that main layer. You're working on this yellow border, so make sure it's highlighted. Control, click, and select inverse, and delete. And then you can just get rid of that shape layer. The shape layer is just there to shape it. You can come up here to this layer and move it over a little bit. Write your text down here or something. Or you could even move it up. Write your text down here. You can make, the sides here and here wider, but make top and bottom thinner. Whatever you think looks good. You can make those kinds of borders. And I'll leave it centered and just show you right quick. You can push Control and click inside this box to get those dancing lines to come up, and then add a new layer. And go to Edit, Stroke, 1 pixel, and now you have a 1 pixel border separating this from that. And then you can also do the same for this. Click while you're holding Control, new layer, Edit, Stroke, 1 pixel. You can even add bevel and emboss to that. It stand out a little more. Okay, so there's that. Make all these layers come back. And just to show you, I grouped my layers together. There isn't only just a couple layers to this tag. There is a whole lot more layers to this tag than you can see. I just didn't want you to think, oh, well, she didn't really do much to this tag. She just threw it together. It's actually one of the better tags that I've made. Simple steps, but many. Anyways, I'm going to show you how to do a torn border now. You're going to make a new layer and go to, and this is, again, this is the same way as rounded border started off. You can either save your PNG and your PSD, don't forget your PSD, and then open your PNG back up, or you could do it this way, which I kind of prefer to do it this way, and then in the end just save the PSD with the border in there, and then my PNG. But you don't have to do it this way. You can close everything out and just open up your PNG back up. But I do it this way. So new layer, image, apply image, and then just hide the rest. It also depends on how many layers you have. If you have a lot of layers and you didn't group them together or whatever and you don't want to, it's probably easier to just save your PSD and then a PNG and then reopen the PNG back up so you only have that one layer. But again, it all depends on your preference and what's easier for you to do. Sometimes if I do have a big long list of layers, I'll close it out and just reopen the PNG up. Anyways, we're going to start off the same way as we did with the rounded border, except this time we're going to use the rectangle marquee. And again, you're going to select as much as you want or as little as you want of your tag. I'm going to do about here. Make sure it's fairly even on all sides. Okay, so here is where this differs. Pay really close attention. After you select with the rectangle marquee, you're going to hit the Q button on your keyboard. As you see, it has made a red border around our piece. Now we're going for a torn effect, so we're going to go up here to Filters and down to Pixelate and over to Crystallize. Now as you can see from the preview window, it shows jagged edges. That's what we want. And you can get these jagged edges anywhere from 6 to 8 to 10 cell size. And I usually go to 10, 8 to 10. Gives it a nice little tear effect. Now that we've applied the 10 size, you can see the red line has changed to the jagged edge. That's what we want, but we need to delete that, the outside portion, what is in red. To do that, you have to hit the Q button again. And as you can see, this made those dancing lines appear, and those dancing lines are in the shape of the jagged edges that you just applied, the filter. We're still not done, because if you hit the delete key right now, you're going to delete everything on the inside of that, and that's not what we want to do. We want to delete everything on the outside of that. So we have to go up here to Select and Inverse, like we did before, and now we are ready to hit the delete key. So just simply hit delete. Control D to get rid of the dancing lines, and there you go. That is your effect, the jagged edge. It looks like it was ripped out of something. You can leave it like that, but that kind of looks flat. Just to show you real quick, I'll put a white background under here. And as you can see, it just kind of looks boring and plain. You can go back up to your main layer and double click. Add a drop shadow to it. Not a strong one though. It doesn't have to be extremely strong. Just that drop shadow alone makes it look 10 times, 100 times better. Makes it pop out a little more. You can go as far as adding just a little bit of bevel and bows. And then you can come over to effects and you can see, there's a drop shadow and bevel and bows. Makes it stand out a little bit. You notice at the top and at the bottom it changes a little bit. And again, take both effects off and it's kind of plain, put them on there and it kind of makes it pop out. So that's rounded, or torn. Now we're going to do, I'll leave that up. Let me hide it real quick. Now we're going to do a halftone. Halftone is something unique. I've never seen anybody do them before, and a lot of people have told me that they look really cool. So you're going to do them the same way, exact same way that you did the torn border one, except you're going to use the halftone filter instead. So we're going to start off by either opening up your PNG form or new layer, image, apply, image, and then hide the rest. And again, I'm going to add that little white background just to show you the effects at the end. Okay. So, like before, you're going to start off with your rectangular marquee. You're going to select part of your, just the little part of your tag. And then you're going to, as before, you're going to hit Q to make that red border. And you're going to go up to Filter, Pixelate, Color Halftone right here. Now, the radius for this is about the same, anywhere between 6 to 10. I feel 8 is a good number, so I'm going to do 8 pixels and just hit OK. And you see that it has come up in the red. To get it to be the dancing lines, you hit Q again, and it comes up in the dancing lines. Don't forget to go to Select and invert those lines, and then just hit Delete. And then you have a halftone border. Again, you can add drop shadow, something that's not too strong. 3, 1, 2. You can add bevel and emboss, just a little bit. Honestly, don't look good to have a lot of bevel and emboss on the halftone. I frankly don't like that. And the drop shadow, I don't really care for the drop shadow either on there. But you can add those things. If that's how that looks, just erode it away. Okay, next we're going to do what I call is dotted and dashed. This requires you to do a little more than just adding a border to your piece. You have to actually make the patterns. And I'm not sure if I already have the patterns or not. Yeah, I do. Okay. But I'll show you how to make them, I just won't save them. First off, you're going to start off by opening, we're going to do a dotted one, and you're going to open out the 2 by 2 pixel new canvas. So you're going to go to File, New, and 2 pixels by 2 pixels, transparent background, and you're going to hit OK. Now it's small, so you're going to blow it all the way up as big as you can get it. And now you can use any colors. My tag had yellow, and my tag had orange in it. So you're going to pull out, so I've got yellow and orange, so you're going to pull out your pencil tool. 1 pixel brush, or I mean 1 pixel end. You're going to brush some yellow in this corner, and some yellow or whatever color you're using in the opposite corner across from it. Okay? Then you're going to switch colors. You're going to do the other color at the top and do the other color bottom other corner across from it. So you kind of have like a checkered effect starting. Now when you're done doing this, you go to Edit, Define Pattern, name it whatever you want to name it, and hit OK. Now that is your dotted, so you probably want to name it dotted pattern or whatever, dotted border. To do the dashed, you're going to open a 6 by 6 pixel transparent background piece, blow it all the way up, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to take one color, you need to up the size of your pencil to a 3, and then you're going to do, one color in that corner and adjacent from it as well, and then switch colors, the opposite corner and adjacent from it, and make that pattern again. And again, Edit, Define Pattern, Dash Pattern or Dash Border, save it. And that's how you do that. Now, to apply it, you as the others. You can either use a PNG, just open up the PNG, or you can add a new layer, go to image, apply image, and then hide the rest. All you do is you just click on that PNG or applied image layer twice, double click it, go to pattern overlay, click this little arrow button here, and there they are. Select the one that you want. I messed up a little bit, didn't I? What did I do wrong? Oh. You stroke it first. Oh, I'm telling you the wrong thing. You go to stroke, and down here where it says fill type, you go to pattern. That's what I'm doing wrong. I'm sorry. Now you click on this, and that is your dotted border. You can make it 1 pixel, or 1 pixel usually looks the best. Why is it not showing up? Why am I'm messing up somewhere? Oh. Inside. This is where you need to use inside. Inside or center. Inside looks best. Inside. Okay, let me start over. Let me explain that again. After you have your PNG or your applied layer open, you double click it, you go to stroke, 1 pixel, inside, blend mode's normal, 100% opacity. You want to fill type to be pattern. You want to pick your pattern out, whether it be the dots or the dashes. As you can see over here in the preview, over here on my piece, there's the dashes, there's the dots. You can up the size of the dots, or you can up the size of the dashes. I like 1 pixel, but I just hit OK. And it makes a dashed and dotted border. You'll have to excuse me, I haven't done this in forever because I don't particularly like that type of border. Some people do, I don't. But I decided to go ahead and show you that just to show you. Okay, next we're going to do borders within borders. This is another one that I don't particularly care for. It just looks cool more than anything, but it doesn't really accent your work. If anything, it takes away from. But I'll go ahead and show you this anyways. As before, you're going to either open up your PNG, or you're going to do new layer, applied image, and hide the rest. Okay, now we're going to do a new layer, and we're going to bring out, make sure you're on white, and we're going to bring out our rectangular marquee, and we're just going to make a selection. Now, the selection that you're going to make, keep in mind that it's going to put a border around what you selected. So first off, you're probably going to want to do like the main focal. And then you just simply stroke it with, go to Edit, Stroke, 2 pixel. Make sure it's 2 pixel. Okay, inside or center, don't really matter, outside even for all I care. hit OK. Now, Control D, we're going to make another new layer. And we're just going to select another piece of it. Say we want to select right here. And then do the same thing. Edit, stroke, 2 pixel, OK. Control D, new layer. And you just keep doing this over and over again, intertwining all these together. And just keep stroking them. I know that sounds really horrible. Keep putting borders, quote unquote. And you can always move them, like I just did, if you don't like where they're positioned. Almost done. I got one more to do. Okay. Alright, now that you have all those borders intertwined over your focal and parts of the tag that you want to keep or whatnot, you merge them all together. Merge all the layers, all the hang on. I don't think you merge them all together. Let me experiment for a minute here. Okay, let's merge them all together by hitting Control. I think it's Control Shift E. No. Control? Yeah, Control E. And just merge all the borders together. Okay, now that you've merged them all together, you're going to double click on that layer. And you're going to apply color, and you're going to apply a 1 pixel black stroke. So first off, you're going to do color overlay, and of course, we're probably going to pull some color of this yellow color out of the tag because that was a pretty good color. Okay. And then our stroke, again, 1 pixel. Yes, this is what I was trying to do earlier. Okay, 1 pixel black. And I guess outside would be the best for this one. Yeah, outside. And just hit OK. Now that you've applied those, you're going to pull out, actually you're going to highlight this bottom layer here, your PNG or your applied layer, and you're going to pull out your magic wand tool. You're just going to click somewhere outside that cluster of boxes. No, I was wrong. You're going to make sure that you're on your, you're going to make sure that you have your border layer highlighted when you click, and then highlight your main PNG or applied layer. Just hit delete. And now you have a tag that is encompassed by a lot of borders. As you can see, this has taken a lot away because of the borders and such, but it's actually a really cool effect. Just wanted to show you that in case you ever want to make some kind of collage. Oh, goodness. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this for now. And I am just going to open up a avatar. Oops. I'll use this. Okay, so this I'm just going to unlock right quick. Alright, so say you made a piece, and the reason I opened up an avatar is because it's going to be easier for me to show you how to do this in a proportionate image, like 100 by 100, 200 by 200, that kind of thing. Tags, this doesn't really work the greatest with tags because tags are usually longer than they are wider. And it kind of throws this pattern off when you do it. So I suggest not doing it to a tag, or if you do, it's not going to look exactly right. You might have to work with it to try to get it to look exactly right. But anyways, for me to show you how to do it, I'm just going to do it with a 100 by 100 pixel image. Now, first things first, when you open it up, make sure there's only one layer, or you know, the whole new layer, image, apply image, and then just hide the rest type deal. Since I'm working with a totally different image and just got one layer, that's fine. We're going to go to image, image size, I'm sorry, canvas size, image, canvas size, and we're going to up the pixels, make sure it's in pixels. We're going to up it by 20. So it's 100 by 100 right now. It's going to be 120 by 120. And you can move this little box around, but for now we're going to leave it in the center because we want all sides to span out. Okay, so now you have some transparent background behind your image. So now we're going to hold Control and make a new layer, which makes it under. That's why we hold Control, to make it under your main layer. And we're going to fill this with white, or an off-white. Okay, so now we're going to pull out our elliptical marquee, and you're going to set this to fixed size, 12 pixels by 12 pixels. And I'm going to blow this up a little bit so I can see. Now you're going to place it on your canvas, about half on. Make sure we start. Probably like right there. You're going to make the circle half on and half off. And then you're just simply going to hit delete. Now, you're going to hit your direction key, your arrow direction key, in the direction you're going. Like, we're going to be going from, we're going to start off and go from our left to our right. So we're going to hit this arrow key that's pointing over to the right twice. Oh, I know what I did. Hold Shift, I do believe. Yes. Hold Shift and hit that arrow key twice. Let go of Shift, press Delete. Hold Shift, hit the arrow key twice, delete. Hold Shift, arrow key twice, delete. Shift, twice, delete. Shift, twice, delete. Okay. Now we're going to, I think I can do it 2 more times and still... oh no, 1. Okay, now hold Shift and go over 1. See, I'm here, hold Shift, go over 1 and up 1. Okay, now hit Delete, hold Shift, up, up, delete, Shift, up, delete, shift, up, up, delete, shift, up, delete, shift, up, delete. And again, shift up one and then over to the left one and hit delete. Shift, left, delete, 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 shift, left one, down one, delete, shift, down, 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 delete. Okay, so if you hit Control D to get rid of your elliptical tool and downsize this, we'll put it on a black background just to show you the effect. You have a postage stamp looking effect going around your piece. And if you want, you can give it a drop shadow. All you do is double click the white layer, and you're not going to be able to see it on the black background or anything, but you can do whatever you want to that. And that would be all for the borders. Let's move on to text, and I'm just going to basically talk about text and show you a couple examples. Let me open up some of my PSDs. Or actually, instead of me opening up PSDs in Photoshop, let me open up my WordPress and go through my tags. That way, I don't take up a lot of time doing that. This video is long enough. So we're just going to go to my tags. First off, I want to mention something about the rule of thirds. A lot of people talk about the rule of thirds. Well, back in the day when the rule of thirds was thought up by whoever, I don't think, and personally, I don't think they were talking about text when they included this. It's just, over time, somebody has added text in there, and people think that's the rule of thirds, is for focal and text, and that I don't believe it to be true. Every time I use the rule of thirds to place my text, it always looks horrible. So it cannot be true that the rule of thirds was made up to be applied to how to place your focal and how to place your text. I just think somebody threw it in there. So never, ever. Rule of thirds is good though. Don't get me wrong. Rule of thirds is an awesome rule to follow, but never ever follow the rule of thirds for placing your text. Only follow it for placing your focal. Okay, so the rule of thirds is this. You take an image and you divide it into 9 equal squares. Okay, so you would have a line that goes across here, a line that goes across here, a line that comes down here, and a line that comes down here. Now imagine these are 9 equal squares. There's 3 here, 3 here, and 3 here. Okay? Where those lines intersect, like there would be an intersection point here, another one here, another one over here, and another one over here. It states to make sure that your focal touches at least 2 of those points, no more than 3. Depends on how your focal is shaped. Sometimes you can only get your focal to touch 2 of those points. Other times you can get it to touch 3. But it should never touch all 4 points is what it's saying. It needs to be offset to one side or the other, and that is the whole point of the rule of thirds, to get your image offset to one side or the other so that you're not looking at the image straight on, because then your eyes will wander off into other directions. But when your focal is off to the side, your eyes focus on that one area. Okay, so like for this one, right here, with the Dark Magician Girl, as you can see, she is touching one of the points, and I don't ever follow, you could look up guidelines. Hang on one second. I'm sorry about that. My dad needed me for something. Anyways, I don't ever use the grid for guidelines. Like, you can look up tutorials on Photoshop, and it'll tell you how to make the grid for the rule of thirds on your tag, but or your LP. But I don't know. I just eye it up. So, like, there would be a point like right here, and as you can see, she's clearly touching it. There would be another point like right here, and she's clearly touching it. And her cape comes out back here, so this is still part of her. And there would be one like somewhere around here. So she's really close to touching that one. This point right here is left open. And if I'd put my text right there, I don't think it would look good there. I particularly don't think it looks good where it is, but I just stuck it there just to stick it there. I think maybe down here, or even over by her hair coming off, would look better than it up over here. I think keeping your text as close to your focal is the best way to do it. Like for this tag, I know you can't see it very well, but the rule of thirds, she is really close to touching a point here, touching one here, touching one here, and this point over here is left open. Now I could put my text over here, but I think it looked better being over here by her cheek. Let's see. Okay, for this Halloween one, as you can see, she's touching a point over here and a point over here, and almost touching a point over here. Putting the text up here by this point, I don't think it would look better there. I like it over here. For this one, she's touching a point here, she's touching a point here, and the fire coming off her hand was in the render, so she's touching a point here. I don't think the text would look good up here because the fire comes up there. I think it looks better over here by her. This one, she touches a point here, touches a point here, and she touches a point back here. That means that the point up here is left untouched, and the text should belong up there, but I don't think it would look good up there. Same thing with this one. Point is touched here and here, almost touched over here. So right here, this point is left undone, and the text is almost to that point, but I liked it better. And I probably should have moved it up and over a little bit more, but it looks pretty decent there. It's like this text. Points touched here, points touched here, point is touched here, text is right here, but this point is vacant. So, yes, your text probably will end up being close to the vacant point. Let's see, it is, point is touched here, point is touched here, point is touched here, and text is right here. Point is touched here and touched here, almost touched here, the vacant one, text is over here. So going through these, putting your text close to the focal, somewhere around the vacant point, seems to be, to me, where the text looks the best at. But the rule of thirds states that you put your text on the vacant point, or it touches the vacant point. And I've done my text like that, and like for this one, could you imagine this text over, like in this area, like stretched out here, it says Lady Vamptress right here. That wouldn't look good at all. And same thing with here. Taking this and putting it up here, stretch it across here, saying Lady Vamptress. Same thing with this one, taking Revo and Lady V and putting it up here. I mean, if you think about moving this over a little bit and down a little bit, I don't think would make it look that bad. So sometimes it does apply, the rule of thirds for text does apply, but most times it doesn't. Like this text moved up here, I don't think it would look good. This text moved over here, I don't think it would look good. This text moved up here, I think it looks awkward where it is to start with. Moving it over here just would make it look worse. But that's text, and you don't only want to worry about placement, but you want to worry about the font that you use. Like in this one I use some thick retro font because of how she looks. She looks almost retro. And for the Happy Halloween one, I used a font that kind of fit in with the Halloween theme. The Fire Lady one, Fire Lady V, I used one, like the fire part looks like actual like flame letters, and then Lady V is in a nice calligraphy. Autumn Magic, again, autumn is bold, but soft, and then Magic is curly and girly and feminine. Same thing with Dance, and my name Lady V. Dance is strong and bold, but still soft, and then, you know, the calligraphy, or cursive. I like cursive writing, especially in a lot of my tags. I think it brings out the softer side. So if you have a grunge tag, it's good to use a grunge font. If you have a war tag, grunge fonts are more strong, straight, manly fonts are good. If you have a girly tag, the more softer, curvier calligraphy type text is needed, or fonts are needed. Let me see here. Good example. I even found a font here that has hearts coming off the letters, and I thought that was cute. Like for this one's a warrior woman. She's yet a woman, yet it's a warrior tag. So I found this font that was kind of metal looking, decaying looking, and used it as my main text. And it's supposed to say defend, but the end looks like the end here, D, looks like a T. And then I wrote my name Lady Vamptress in a soft calligraphy, and then I put Japanese letters at the top, because when I see a female warrior or a warrior of any sort in armor, I automatically think of old-time Japan and the warriors or the samurais. Whenever you use fonts, it's good to have one or two different things, like a saying, like how I have defend here, and then as secondary text my name, and then just as decoration text the Japanese letters. It's like my name up here, my name is the main one, the Japanese letters is secondary. Or back in the day, I did stuff like turned the font sideways and went with the flow. I don't think you should ever do that. I didn't learn this early on. So try not to like turn your text sideways, because then you divert your eyes to the text just to try to read it. You could do text and then have effects coming off of the text to make it look like the text is melting away. And sometimes the text on the render or on the photo itself is a good option. Sometimes you can get away with it. Like in my Wonder Woman tag here, I got away with putting the text right here in her hair and then having the effects melt off of her, and it flows together good. It's not too distracting and it looks good. Sometimes I like to put the main text, like in this one, Bloodlust, and then I like to put subtext, break it up, Lady at the top and Vamptress underneath of it. Never do what I did here. Put the name of the tag Strike over here and your name Lady Vamptress here. Lady Vamptress should have went under Strike. I have no idea why I did that. That was a mistake. You should always keep your text grouped together. Do not spread it out throughout the tag. Just like my Jaded Dreams, Lady Vamptress, that was nice. This one, and my Ghost Rider, and my Captain America, these three right here were mistakes. I should have put my text closer to my focal, again, closer to my focal somewhere down here, again, closer to my focal, if not on a shield. And I spread out Lady Vamptress down here at the bottom. I don't like that, and I shouldn't have done that. But you learn from your mistakes. Here's one where I put text effect on it, and it actually looks nice going out, but it's still in the wrong placement. This should probably be under her arm here somewhere. Okay, so light review. Place your text somewhere close to the vacant point, but not actually on the vacant point. And then make sure it's close to your focal, whether it's by a face, under an arm, under or on top of some clothing or something. You could even get away with putting it on the focal itself. You could even, like, if you have a tag of a football player and he's wearing a jersey, you could even put your name on the jersey like his name appears. You could use the clone stamp to kind of clone stamp out his name if it's on the jersey, and then put your name there and make it fit. You could do little things like that. Put your name on a ball or something. Be careful the font that you use. Make sure that it complements the tag and matches, and make sure that you do not spread the font throughout the tag. Make sure it's a decent size. Readable yet not distracting from the focal. You can always lower opacity, do clipping masks to make it blend better, pick gradients to make it blend better with your colors of your tag. Never just do plain out white or black. That gets boring. You can get away with it in some cases. If you're not sure, I'll show you real quick before I let you go. If you're not sure how to load fonts to your Photoshop, you just simply find a site such as dafont.com. It's DAFONT.com. They have a ton of fonts. Just pick one, doesn't matter, say you want this one, come over here to download, save file, it'll save it where it belongs. I have it saving to my desktop. You unzip it, you copy it, file is right here, right click copy, go to your start menu, go to computer, go to local disk C, go down to Windows, and down to fonts. And then you just simply paste it in there. Now I'm not going to paste it, I'm just showing you guys how to add new fonts, but you just right click and go to paste, and it'll show up. If you have Photoshop open when you install it, it may not show up. You can install Photoshop brushes the same way. Download the brushes, copy them, go into your computer, your local D drive. Go to Program Files, Adobe. Whatever Photoshop you have, CS3 is what I have. Go into presets and brushes and just paste. I think that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Bye.